Good afternoon, girls. Today we are going to learn some introduction about C++. So in our introduction part, what we are going to learn is basic concepts. So in this basic concept, first we will understand what does a language means. In earlier class, what we have learned that C++ is a programming language, but before understanding C++, we should know what is a language, right? Suppose if I am learning English language, I cannot write a paragraph directly itself before starting any alphabets, learning any alphabet or words or phrases. I cannot start with a paragraph, right? For that, for writing a paragraph, what I have to do? First I have to learn what are alphabets, then I have to learn how to write a word, then how to understand, I have to learn how to phrase a sentence, then I can jump to the paragraph. In the same manner, to learn any programming language, we have to learn what are the characters and how to form a word, then we learn how to give the instructions in a programming language. All the data in a computer is stored in low level language. This is the main thing which you have to learn. Okay, you understood what is a language, right? A way to communicate with each other. Language is a way to communicate with each other. Then we have program. What is a program? Program is a set of sequence or commands. Then this language is categorized into what I said just now. This language is categorized into two types, that is binary language, also called as low level language or machine language, and high level language. Now what does binary language or low level language will do? It uses, did this computer understand only machine language, that is zeros and ones. What does it mean? It means just zeros and ones, in the sense how you how you turn on and turn off the switch. When you turn on the switch, the electricity will flow. When you turn off the switch, the flow of electricity will stop, like that. Then what does high level language means? High level language means programming language like Java, C++ are written in this type of language, English like languages. That is our high level language. Let us take an example of printf and scanf. What is there? Printf means what? Print function. That is a function, right? With the word we can understand it is a function. Got it? Like that, we have what? Scanf. Scanf means what? That is also a function. That is also called used as an English like word only, right? And many examples are there. We will learn after whenever the slides will go like that. Okay, then we have the concept called as assembler, interpreter, and compiler. Assembler converts assembly language into machine language, and interpreter and compiler converts high level language to low level language, or low level language to high level language. Okay, moving to next slide. In my next slide, I tried to explain you about the character sets which are used in C++. Okay, every language has its own character set. Like in English, we have what? We have A to Z. In Hindi, we have what? R to Gya. In Telugu also we have R to Gya. Let Achulu Hallulu, maybe. Okay, like that it is. Okay, so here in C++, we have character sets like A to Z capital letters, or whatever is there on the keyboard. We can take it as whatever is there on the keyboard. So these are A to Z capital letters, A to Z small letters, digits 0 to 9, some special characters, and white spaces, new line characters. Apart from this, we have 256 ASCII characters. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay. Now moving towards next slide. Next slide is about tokens. Tokens is a very important topic, girls. You may not have the actual topic called as token, but the token which is categorized into these parts is an important thing. Okay. So what is a token? Token is the smallest unit that can be identified by the programming language. Okay. So these tokens, C++ allows 5 types of tokens. Okay, these are keywords, identifiers, literals, also called as constants, punctuators, and operators. Okay. Now, what are keywords? Keywords are reserved words whose meaning is already stored and explained to the compiler. So these keywords I cannot use in any program, or in any other way in the program. Okay, and in C++ there are 48 keywords like if, switch, return, etc. Don't get worried. Little brief we will do in my next upcoming slides. Okay, next comes is what? Next is identifiers. What are identifiers? Identifiers are the names declared by the programmer or the user. Okay, next comes is constants. This constants is categorized. First I'll tell you what this constant means. Constant means what? Constant means whose value will remain same throughout the execution of the program. Okay, so next is what? These are the main basic constants which we use in a program. Okay, that is integer, then real, then float, then character, then string. Okay, these are the basic concepts. Still we have, but okay, these are the basic. Now what does integer means? Integer means the figure which is rounded off. Int means what? Int stands for integer. Int is a keyword. Okay, keyword used for the word integer. Okay, this int will have what characters? Characters 0 to 9. Okay, and these characters will have what? Like values. What values? 10, 15, 30, 300, 350, 315, whatever it is. Okay, okay, right. Next, coming towards real constants. Now what does real constants means? Real constants are the numbers that contains decimals points. Okay, like float and real constant are same. Next comes is character constants. Character constants are single character enclosed with single quotes. I'll write an example here by which you can understand. Then, if I write this, okay, see, I have written, these are the single quotes. Please pardon my handwriting because I am not using a laser pen. I am not using any pen. This only with the keyboard I am doing. Okay. So A I have written in single quotes. This will become what? A character. Now what if I write this in a single quote? What will happen? Do you take it as an integer? No. This is also called as character constant only because this is written in a single quote. So the moral here is every character should be written in a single quote. Okay. Next comes is what? String constant. Now what does a string constant means? String constant are the group of characters which are enclosed with double quotes. Okay, same thing. If I write into double quotes with number of letters, then it will become a string like your name, your address, whatever it is. Next is what? Next is punctuators. Okay, punctuators are also known as separators. These are the special symbols which are used to separate tokens. Next is operators. Operators we will learn in deep in our next upcoming slides if I take next lesson at that time. So these are the keywords. Once again I would like to repeat the introduction about keywords. Keywords are predefined or reserved word which are used in C library with a fixed meaning and used to perform an internal operation. And C++ supports how many keywords? I told you C++ supports 64 keywords. Okay, and remember one thing, every keyword exists in lower case letter like auto, break, case, char, constant. Okay, these are the keywords, right? Now moving towards next slide. So these are the data types. These data types you would have learnt in C language also, but as we are running in the introduction part, I am supposed to tell you this part also. So you know very well this data types has been categorized into three types, right? Those are built-in, derived, and user-defined data types, right? So all variable use data types, right? During declaration, yes, during declaration. For what? to restrict the type of data to be stored. Once again I'll repeat, all variables use data type during declaration to restrict the type of data to be stored. Okay, therefore we can say that data types are used to tell the variables the type of data it can store. I said it will say we can say that what data types are used to tell the variable the type of data it can store. Okay, so whenever variable is defined in C++, the compiler allocates some memory for the variable based on the data type with which it is declared. You know how much memory int will take, how much memory char will take, how much memory float, how much memory float will take, and how much memory double will take. Like that, every data type has got a different type of memory to be taken. Right? Every data type requires amount of memory. First thing. Next thing, let us go to the primitive data type. What it is? These data types are built-in data types, okay, also called as primitive data types. And what? And these data types can be used directly by the user to declare the variable. Okay, and examples is there on the screen: int, float, void. These are the primitive data types. Next comes is what? Derived data types. Now what are derived data types means? Derived data types that are derived from the primitive or built-in data types are referred as a derived data types. Okay, I repeat, the data types that are derived from the primitive data types. The data types, what are derived data types? Array, pointer, and references. These data types are derived from built-in data types or primitive data types. That is why it is called as derived data types. By the name itself, we can understand these are the derived data types. It means these are the derived by the user and taken out from the primitive data types. Okay, right? Then next is what? Next is user-defined data type. User-defined data types are also known as abstract data types. So these data types are defined by the user itself. Okay, by the name itself you can understand user-defined data types are the data types which are defined by the user only. Okay, so these data types are categorized as structure, union, classes, and enumerator. Enum we use, right? For enumerations we use enum. Okay, right. Moving towards next slide. So from here what we are going to learn, till here we learned what are variables, what are data types and all. From here we are going to learn what are output instructions, what are input instructions, and what is iostream.h. I hope you know all these things. Just take this lecture as a revision part. Okay, first comes is output instruction. An instruction, output instruction means what? Sorry, it is the instruction which is used to print something on the screen or any other device is known as what? Output instruction. I repeat, the instruction which is used to print something on the screen or any other output device is known as output instruction. Similarly, the instruction which is used to input information for the user, right? Correct, only input information from the user is known as what? Input instruction. In C standard, output device is what? Monitor, and printf is used to send the data to the message to the monitor, right? So what is that? Printf is a predefined function. I repeat, in C standard what we have done, we have used printf function for what? To send the data to the monitor. Okay, but in C++ what we use? We use cout to sending, like printf only, right? Cout is also a predefined not function but an object. Okay, printf is a printf is a predefined function, whereas cout is a predefined object. Okay, what it does, right, it will also do the same thing. We can use cout to send the data or message to the monitor. Okay, and this is the symbol or called as operator, called as insertion operator or put to operator, which we use after cout. Okay, right. Next is, this is the syntax with an example I have written. Just note it down and take a screenshot. Remember one thing, we sometimes in printf what we do, we use format specifiers, right? These are the format specifiers, but in cout we don't use any format specifier. In this example you can see, just see here I am using format specifier, but here I am not using any format specifier. Okay, right, moving towards next slide. Just see the basic difference. Printf hello students, here also same thing is there, only cout with the insertion operator. Okay, next slide. So just read these points, girls. In C standard, input device is keyboard and scanf is used to receive the data from keyboard. Scanf is a predefined function, like printf is a predefined function, and in C++ we use what? cin to input the data from keyboard. So the identifier cin is a predefined object, like printf is a predefined function, scanf is a predefined object, cout and cin are the predefined object used in C++. And here the new operator which we are using is known as what? Extraction operator or get from operator. Okay, same thing, we are not using any format specifier in cin also. Just see. Okay, right, moving towards, these are the few points which I given on the screen for you to remember. First is header files. What is header file? The predefined functions are declared in header files. So whenever you are using any predefined function in your code, you have to include specific header file that contains its declaration. Next is what? Next is iostream.h. We need to include a header file iostream.h. It contains declaration for the identifier cout and the operator. Okay, and also the identifier cin and its operator. Okay, next, one more thing I want to tell you is header file contains declaration of the identifiers, and identifier can be a function name, a variable, an object or macros. Okay, next, moving towards next slide. Endl. What does endl means? Inserting endl into the output stream causes the screen cursor to move to the beginning of the next line. Like how we use /n character in C language, like that we are using what? Endl. So here is a variable. What does variable name? Variable means, variable is a name which is associated with a value that can be changed. For example, if I write int num equal to 20, here variable name is num, which is associated with the value called as 20, and int is a data type which represent what type of data it can hold. Okay, just read these points. Variable are the names of a memory location which are stored in data. Variable name is any combination of alphabets, that is capital A to Z or small a to Z, and using a underscore. Underscore also you can use. Apart from the remaining special characters we may not use, but we can use underscore. Okay, next is what is a variable name. Variable name cannot start with a digit. Remember, variable name cannot start with a digit. Very important interview question it is. Okay, and this is a small example I have given you. This is the syntax, and this is how we declare a variable. Okay, right, now we are going to learn what are the types of variable. Before learning the types of variable, but we should understand what does the scope of variable is. Okay, so any variable declared inside the curly braces have that much scope only. Notice that scope means that variable can be used starting from those braces to the ending to those braces. Okay, so that comes into scope of the variable. So what happens if you declare a variable in main function and try to use that variable outside the main function, then you will get a compilation error. Now that we have understood what is a scope, let us move on to the types of variables based on the scope. So actually I have written here three types of variable: global variable, local variable and reference variable. I remember that I told in my class about global and local variable. Here the new variable we are going to discuss about is reference variable. Okay, but still those who did not listen to here were absent in my previous classes, let me tell you about little introduction about global variable. So what is a global variable? Global variable have their scope throughout the program. That is, they can be accessed anywhere in the program. That is, in the main function, in the use or in the user defined function, anywhere. Okay. Here you can read on the screen also, a variable declared outside any function including main as well is called as what? Variable, global variable. Now here I have declared a variable called as myvar. Okay, this is declared outside the main function. That is, we have accessed the variable twice in the main function without any issue. Okay, so without any issue in the sense I will not get any error, right? Next, moving towards local variable. I'm sorry, here it is not visible, uh, but from here you can take it as local variable example. Okay, first we shall understand what this local variable means. Local variable are declared inside the braces of any user defined function or main function, or in loops, or in any control statements like if else, etc., and have their and they have their scope very limited in the sense their scope will be till the opening curly braces to closing curly braces. Okay, so what happens if I run that type of variable? I'll get what means program will run, but sometimes if I am going to use that variable outside that function, then what happens? I'll get the compilation error. Why I get this compile time error? Because we are trying to access the variable myvar outside its scope. The scope of myvar here in this program is limited to the body of the function, that is my function. Okay, right? So it is used only till here, but if I going to access this variable at some other place, then I will get the compile time error. Okay, right. Now, so in this slide we are going to understand the two types of variable, that is which are similar in C and C++, that is ordinary variable and pointer variable. Just look at the screen and understand that I created a variable called as a, and the value stored in it is 10. With this, a block memory gets created, a block in memory gets created whose name is a, and the value stored in it is 10. Oh sorry, I have written here 5. Okay, but here a is equal to 10 means here 10 should come. Okay, so what happens apart from this means the address name you variable name you understood, the value for variable you understood. Apart from this, what happens? Apart from this, another thing is mentioned here is address. Okay, every variable has got one address too. Okay, in fact, every byte has got one address, which is also known as a base address. This address may vary from program to program. Okay, this is for just for an example. I have taken address as 1000. In C language, we used to create another type of variable called as what? Pointer variable. And what does pointer variable means? It means it contains the address of another variable. Okay. In this example, I have assigned the address of A in P. It means pointer variable are created to create the address of another variable in it. Okay, see, in P I have 1000. What is 1000? 1000 is the address of A. Okay, like that. Now let us understand the new type of variable, which is reference variable. Okay, in this you need to tell compiler that it is not an ordinary variable or a pointer variable. Okay, what does it mean? It means for making such kind of variable you don't need to use an asterisk symbol, because this is not a pointer variable. And if you don't use any symbol, then it will become what? It will become an ordinary variable. Now what to do? See, just understand here. Here the asterisk symbol has been used. Asterisk means pointer variable. Here I have not used any symbol. It will become what? It will become an ordinary symbol, ordinary variable. Now what I have to do? Okay, the solution is we use ampersand symbol as I have used before x. Just see, as I have used ampersand symbol, so it will become what? Okay, before this, just listen. But please remember, this symbol is not read as address of. Okay, got it? I'll repeat, this symbol is not read as address of, but this symbol tells compiler that variable is a reference variable. Okay, don't read it as address of, but read it as a reference variable. That is the difference. Okay, here if I give as a pointer variable this, then it will become a reference variable. Ampersand, both are ampersand, but that is the difference. Here it is read as address of variable, whereas here it is referred as, sorry, it is read as reference variable. Okay, now what does it mean? It means x is a reference variable and the reference of A is going to get stored in x. Okay, now what does reference means? See, just see here, if I give here x plus plus, what happens? The value of A will get increased. So in output what I will get, if suppose A is 10, then I have given x plus plus. What is plus plus going to do with x? No, with A the value is getting increased and the value will become 11. That is the output. Okay, I hope I am clear. Now moving towards next slide. These are the few points to remember. I'll read out. Reference means address. Here in C++, reference means address, and it is represented with the ampersand symbol. Okay, right. Next, moving on to functions. Function is a block of code performing a unit of task. All these things we have read already, so I may not take much time for explaining these functions. Functions can be predefined functions or user defined functions, and functions are declared in header files and defined in library files. Okay, right. Now this is an example where I have shown you what is a declaration of where we are doing the declaration of cout and cin, that is in IO stream, that is input stream and output stream. Then here I have declared a function called as fun. Okay, now what I have done here, I called that function, sorry, here I have written in small letters and here it came as capital letters. Please change it, both should be in small letters only. Okay, now here I have called that function. Now this part is what I am defining the function. Okay, I am defining the function. Got it? So moving towards next slide. What does declaration consist of? Function declaration, also called as function prototyping. Okay, and it should be declared before using, right? So a function can be locally declared or can be globally declared, right? And a function, what is a function? This is the main thing actually. Function definition is a block of code. Whatever the block of code, whatever the steps we are writing, that comes into function. Okay, now there are 4 ways to define a function. Takes nothing, returns nothing, takes something, return nothing, takes nothing, returns something, takes something, returns something. Okay, these are the 4 ways to define a function. This I'll explain you in my next class.